All right, let's dive in. And I mean that literally. Today we're plunging into a world where taking a deep breath, well, that's the one thing you can't actually do. We are going deep into a strange philosophical abyss, a place that runs on its own bizarre logic, where the biggest questions about life itself just bubble right up to the surface. So let's get into it. And boom, right out of the gate, our guide, Laughing Jack, he just lays it all out there with this perfect contradiction. We're in a place where survival should be absolutely impossible, where you're constantly on the verge of suffocating. And yet, here you are, you're alive. And that single crazy idea, that's the bedrock for everything that follows. It's a world built entirely on a paradox. Okay, so first things first, you gotta throw everything you know about, well, reality right out the window. This isn't just a fantasy world. This is a place where the laws of nature have completely unraveled. Here, physics isn't so much a rule as it is, a mild suggestion. And this is just the perfect example of how utterly absurd it all is. I mean, it's one thing to imagine breathing underwater, but as this very, very confused raptor points out, the weirdness goes all the way down to the basic shapes of things. Square bubbles. It's such a simple, impossible image, but it tells you everything you need to know about where we've landed. And just look at this breakdown. It's like a bizarro world version of a physics textbook. In our reality, water pressure crushes you. Here, you just survive. We need oxygen to live. They just keep going without it. You've got creatures literally made of fire just swimming around, and appliances that are having existential crises. Every single fundamental rule we live by gets flipped completely on its head. So you've got this impossible place, and guess what? It's filled with an equally impossible cast of characters. And the only thing they all have in common, they are completely, totally disoriented. They are just as baffled to be here as we are looking in. You can really feel it in this quote from the skeleton, can't you? None of them signed up for this. Just like him, they were all just plucked from their own lives. 1 minute, having a conversation, living on a frozen mountain, sitting on a kitchen counter, and the next, bam, dropped into this abyss. They're all basically refugees from reality itself. I mean, just look at this lineup. It's completely nuts. A talking skeleton, a robot swordfish, a snowman who's terrified of melting, underwater. This isn't some well-designed ecosystem, It's more like a cosmic junk drawer where everyone and everything is a million miles from where they're supposed to be. So after that initial shock of where am I and how is any of this even possible starts to wear off, things get, well, a lot deeper. It's like when the laws of physics just disappear, the laws of purpose and meaning start to crumble right along with them. And that forces everyone here to start asking the biggest questions there are. And the skeleton just nails this shift in thinking. The constant struggle, the constant suffering of just being in this place, it leads him to question the whole point of being alive at all. Is it all just a setup, a cosmic prank designed to hurt us? This question, man, it just hangs in the air over this entire abyss. And then you've got the horse skeleton, who takes that dark thought and just runs with it, all the way to its most terrifying conclusion. If life is what causes pain, then life itself is the sickness. It's an infection, and the only way to cure the suffering is to get rid of the infection for good. It's a seriously dark philosophy born out of a seriously dark and unforgiving world. But then, the jellyfish comes in with the central puzzle of this whole thing. The big question, right? If being alive is so useless, so sad, so full of pain, then why does life try so hard? Why does it cling on, even in the most impossible, awful places? What is this stubborn, irrational force that makes us keep going when everything tells us to just stop? So when you're faced with all this impossible reality, and these huge, crushing questions, what does your brain do? It does what brains do best. It tries to find a pattern. It tries to cook up a story, an explanation, anything to make sense of the senseless. And so that's what the inhabitants start to do. They start to theorize. So what kind of explanations do they come up with? I mean, what could it be? Maybe it's a collective nightmare, some kind of super advanced computer simulation, or could it be a literal underworld, a limbo, or even hell? Each theory is just another desperate attempt to put a label on the chaos, to try and find some kind of order. And you know what's really fascinating? It's how their theories are totally shaped by who they are. Of course the robot swordfish thinks it's a simulation. For a machine, that's the most logical answer. It's like everyone is trying to translate the abyss into a language that they can personally understand. Okay, so we've gone through all the pain, the confusion, all the wild theories, and we finally get to what feels like the real heart of the matter. See, maybe the point isn't about finding the right answer. In a world with no clear answers, maybe looking for one is a waste of time. Maybe the point is something else entirely. And this is it. This is the core idea. When logic is useless, when reason gives you nothing, the only thing left to do is the most illogical thing of all. You just keep going. Not for some grand purpose, not because you think things will get better, but simply because that is what life does. It endures. And man, this quote from the creepy fish monster just says it all. It's the ultimate comeback to the horse skeleton's whole end-it-all philosophy. He's basically asking, you really think nothing is better than something, no matter how much that something hurts? And his answer is this deep, gut-level, defiant no. A tiny bit of life, even if it's painful, is worth fighting for. And so we're left with this one last, really provocative question from the turtle. And this is where it all comes crashing back into our world. What if this whole crazy, deep, crushing place isn't really about being underwater at all? What if that feeling of suffocation is an analogy for life and the pressure? What if that's the weight of society, of expectations, of everything just pressing down on us? It's a heck of a thought to end on. Makes you wonder if maybe, in some way, we're all swimming in that same ocean too.